Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Playmakers. What's up, guys? For today's video, I'm going to be going through some of the safest quarterbacks that you guys can be drafting for fantasy football this year. In the last couple weeks, I've put out videos talking about the safest running backs and safest wide receivers, but today we're going to be talking about the quarterbacks. So these are guys that I just think have a very low chance of busting, while also having a very solid chance of living up to their ADPs. If you guys watch this video and you find yourself enjoying the content, please just make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it and it would help me out a lot. But let's get into it. One of the safest options I think that you guys can be drafting at quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. He is the consensus quarterback one right now, and he has definitely earned that title over the past 3 seasons. Mahomes took over as the starter in his sophomore season. He finished as the quarterback one that year, won the MVP. That was in 2018. And he didn't only finish as the quarterback one, he finished as the quarterback one by a pretty wide margin. He averaged 3.9 points per game more than the quarterback two. So a really nice cushion between him and that next best guy. He did take a little bit of a step back in 2019. He finished as the quarterback 5 in points per game. He dealt with that dislocated kneecap, which led him to miss a couple games that season. But if you removed that game where he suffered the injury because he didn't finish, the full game, he would have finished as the quarterback 2 in points per game. And obviously that was still well behind Lamar Jackson, but it was another, top tier quarterback season. And then in 2020, he finished as the quarterback 2 in points per game, again behind Dak Prescott, who obviously only played in 5 games, whereas Mahomes had that full season sample size. Even though I'm not going to be targeting Patrick Mahomes at his current ADP, and he may not have the highest overall ceiling of these quarterbacks, I think he is by far the safest option that you can get. If I had to pick a player who I think has the best odds to finish as a top 3 quarterback, there are some really solid options. Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. I think I would have to choose Patrick Mahomes. He's put up top tier quarterback numbers every single year that he has been a starter in the NFL, and he really just has everything you would want in a franchise player. He's attached to a great offense with a very smart, offensive-minded head coach in Andy Reid. He has top-tier weapons on his offense. You've got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, arguably one of the best wide receivers in the NFL and one of the best tight ends. They've also upgraded in the offensive line position this offseason. It was definitely concerning in the Super Bowl, but obviously they recognized that that was an issue and they went out and patched it up. So basically, he is just an all-around great player and a very, very solid and safe fantasy asset this year. All right, the next quarterback that I think is very safe for the 2021 season is Kyler Murray. He's only played in 2 seasons in the NFL. As a rookie, he finished as the quarterback 11 in points per game, and that is a great fantasy season for a rookie quarterback, especially considering that he wasn't placed in a super established offense. It's not like he stepped in with the Kansas City Chiefs roster or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That Cardinals offense was not a top tier unit before he came in. Christian Kirk was the best receiver on that team, and he was still able to find fantasy success. But then he received a huge boost last offseason when the Cardinals acquired DeAndre Hopkins. Now, he was able to play with a true number 1 wide receiver, and obviously that helped him out a ton. He followed up that rookie season with a huge 2020. He finished as the quarterback 5 in points per game, but I really think this season was even more impressive when you look at his performance before he suffered his shoulder injury. So in weeks 1 through 10, he averaged 29.3 points per game, which is about as high of a ceiling that a fantasy quarterback could have. You saw Lamar Jackson average in the 27s, and that was, a crazy, crazy high ceiling year. And Murray was actually on pace to beat that, but then he suffered the shoulder injury and his production just slowed down a little bit. But he was still putting up solid quarterback numbers. He has a rushing upside that is almost at a Lamar Jackson level. Last season, he rushed for 819 yards and 11 touchdowns, and he's also putting up respectable passing numbers to go with that. A great dual threat quarterback. I think people are also forgetting he is only going into his 3rd NFL season, so he should definitely still be developing and improving. He's also received a solid upgrade in weapons this offseason. The Cardinals signed A.J. Green and drafted Rondell Moore, which adds more talent and depth to this team. And he's currently being picked as the quarterback 4. I just can't really see him finishing, much lower than the quarterback 4. He put up that crazy solid season last year, and everything is going in his favor for him to outperform those 2020 numbers. So Kyler Murray is actually a guy that I'm really interested in at his ADP, and is someone that I think is also going to be very safe this year. The last quarterback I'm going to talk about is Ryan Tannehill. He took over as the Titans starting quarterback in week 7 of the 2019 season. And if you only count the games where Tannehill was the starter, so he got like 2 snaps in week 1 and then came in, halfway through week 6. So those aren't a true representation of him as a starting quarterback. If you only take that 10-game sample size where he was the established starter, he would have been the quarterback 2 in points per game that season, but he really didn't get the respect he deserved. After the season, I think a lot of people didn't think he could maintain that touchdown efficiency that he had in the 2019 season. He passed for 22 touchdowns and ran in 4 in those 10 games. However, he proved a lot of those people wrong in 2020. He put up another very solid year. He finished as the quarterback 10 in points per game, and he maintained, if not improved, on that touchdown efficiency. He passed for 33 touchdowns and then ran in 7. And just like Kyler Murray, his situation has only improved for the 2021 season. The Titans went out and acquired Julio Jones. Now defenses are going to have to prepare for a lineup that includes A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, and Julio Jones. I just don't see why his production will take a hit this year. I think another super overlooked aspect of Ryan Tannehill is his rushing ability. He may not put up that volume in the rush game. He's not going to be going out rushing for, 500 yards, but he's very mobile, and the Titans really like to utilize his legs in the red zone. Derrick Henry is such a red zone threat that going play action and sneaking the ball with Ryan Tannehill has proven to be very effective, and so he also has that element of his game. Right now, he is being drafted as the quarterback 11, and I just don't see many avenues of him finishing much lower than that QB 11 ADP. However, I think he has a great shot of outperforming that current ranking. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for my safest quarterbacks to draft in fantasy. I talked about Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, and Ryan Tannehill. I think all of those guys are going to be very safe options, very unlikely to bust, and almost seem like locks to finish around their current ADP. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, watching, and listening. If you guys enjoyed the video, once again, just please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And then also, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you agree that these quarterbacks are very safe this year? If you don't, let me know why down below. And then give me some of the quarterbacks that you guys think are very safe for the 2021 season. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.